I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the
Family Showdown!
Howdy folks, welcome back to my top 100 games of all time. I'm Hunter, this is Rebecca, my wife and lifelong companion.
Aww.
Well, the rest of my life. She wasn't my whole life.
Wow.
Because obviously we didn't know each other. Anyway.
What just happened?
Today we're doing the second best, the penultimate listing, for those of you at home, of games. My 20 to 11. Let's look at here what we got. 4 new games. That's crazy this high up.
That is crazy this high up.
We got some otherwise we got balance.
In the force?
3 games went up and 3 games went down. Interesting.
A tipping of the scales, it's were. Actually.
Interesting. I'm excited. There's a lot.
Wow.
So usually, a little behind the scenes. Usually when we do these lists, I got a stack of games off to the side. You probably figured that out. In this section of 10, there's 2 stacks of games because they're so big. There is beasts, as they say, among this 10. All right, start off right away with my number 20. And it wasn't right away. Start off my number 20. It was 11 last time. It got punitated for reasons that will be made apparent in the next set of 10.
Okay.
And that is what? Dinosaur Island. Don't spoil my list.
You did, not me.
I kind of did.
Dinosaur Island. Oh my gosh, this is my number 5.
Dinosaur Island.
Number 5, guys. This is such a good game.
My number 20 was 11 last time, so it's same ballpark, but it got punitated because reasons. But I love Dinosaur Island. This is one of our favorite. It's one of it's always at the tippy top of our crossover list.
Oh gosh, yes. Fantastic.
Love Dinosaur Island. It is
totally liquid. That's what it is.
Liquid. Let's get rid of one of these. It's blocking.
My totally liquid. Aww.
That was the expansion.
Totally
they don't fit in one box, so we actually got 2 boxes.
Yeah, because there's so much content in here.
Love Dinosaur Island. This was, like I said, my 11 last time. It was 17 before that, 53 before that, but that's just because we probably just played it, and it wasn't driven home how awesome this game is.
Wow. We
play this game with the whole kit and caboodle thrown in. Everything, every expansion, every mosasaur, everything in the game. We love it with all the bells and whistles, with everything, all the stuff. Great game. It's got kind of a nice flow to it. You draft some dice, use those dice to make dinosaurs. You make the dinosaurs, you put them in your little pens. You build shops and things.
And hopefully security.
And security, so that the thing doesn't get out. But it has you draw fans or not fans, visitors out of a bag. But occasionally you get some hooligans. They jump ahead in the line. They cause havoc. And if the things get crazy, they're the first ones to get out of there.
Because they already know how to jump the fence.
So you don't get admission fees for the hooligans, but you get stuff for visitors. So it's basically a big giant theme park. This is Dinosaur. What is it? Jurassic Park, the game, basically.
Yes.
You're doing the whole developing the dinosaurs and putting them in pens and showing them off, and they're breaking out and they're killing people and all that good stuff.
No.
Fun stuff. You can get kind of I think they're called, I don't know if they're executives or something. You get some cards that give you superpowers that make you unique. You kind of start off the same, but as time goes by, you're going to be more and more asymmetrical as the game goes by, which is really cool. There's even some bonus points. You get some patterns on how you want to build your park, like you want to have certain carnivores over here and herbivores over here. You get some bonus points in the game if you build your park just so.
Yep.
So good, so much fun. One of our favorites. Love it.
It's got
love it.
Dineeples. I guess that's what you call them? Dinosaur meeples? Dineeples?
Dino-eeples? Dineeples? I like Dineeples better, you're right.
Yeah. But there's like 16 different shapes. I mean, it's just, and that's even without the expansion, I want to say. There's even more. I mean, it's really cool, just the variety of stuff in here. It's crazy.
They are kind of generic pink colored.
Yeah, but there's still...
I like it. I love this game. I love this game. It's one of my favorites. It dropped a little bit for reasons.
Yes, you've said that like 3 times now.
To be announced later.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
But I love this game. One of her favorites. You're number 4, right? What'd you say? 5?
My number 5.
Whew! That is like tippy top.
Yes.
I'm curious if this is where this is going to land on our combined list. This has potential of being like maybe probably number 2 on our combined list. I'm guessing 2 or 3 on our combined list.
Yeah.
We do, if you don't know, after our hundreds are completed, we do like a live show. We go through we merge our lists together and create the definitive top 100 list, and we go through it in like 30 minutes.
It's so exciting. I can't wait to show you guys that this year.
Anyway, love this game. So good. Still good. Love it. The expansion is not needed, but is awesome.
Yes.
But like I said, we play with everything. We love everything.
Yep.
It's a table hog. It covers like our big giant table full of stuff. But we love it anyway. Dinosaur Island.
Beautiful.
It's my number 20. All right, let's bring on the new games. Cult of the New. Let's start it off.
A new one.
Way back in the Wayback time. Way back. Where was it? Way back at my 77. Whew. That was like 3 years ago. My 77 was Raccoon Tycoon, but that one dropped. I bet it dropped a lot of spaces. I'm betting it dropped a lot. Dropped from 52 to 77 because Raccoon Tycoon has been punitated by Lizard Wizard.
Look at that. Look at that flashy. This game.
I love Raccoon Tycoon. It is an awesome little economic simulation, stock market-y kind of game. This one takes all that and adds so much fun stuff on top of it. You're going in dungeons, you're recruiting you're getting little familiars that work with you. There's even more set collection stuff going on. There's a whole pile in Raccoon Tycoon. You have like a little stack of buildings you can build. This one has a pile of little spell cards you can do. Some give you points in the game. Some gives you abilities. Some are one-shot effects. Love this game. If you've played Raccoon Tycoon and you like it, you're looking for a little more oomph, this is the one for you. I wouldn't say you would need both, but they are, I would say, fairly different in weights.
We need both.
But we need both. If you're looking for something straightforward and easy to teach, Raccoon Tycoon. If you're looking for something a little more, maybe a next step, a wizard. But at its core, they have very similar mechanisms. In Lizard Wizard, you have resources that have a kind of a stock market-y system going on. The prices go up over time, but when someone sells, they drop. This one has the same thing, but you're using spell reagents. Same similar mechanisms. Has similar set collections going on. But then that's where the Raccoon Tycoon kind of stops. Lizard Wizard keeps going with dungeon exploration, kind of a pressure luck dungeon. It's got familiars that give you superpowers. Has even more kinds of set collections on top of what Raccoon Tycoon has. So good, so amazing. I don't know how much Raccoon Tycoon will be played over this between us. Now, if we're playing with other people or want to introduce people to games, Raccoon Tycoon's probably more likely to come out.
That makes sense.
But if we're playing just us, this is probably the one we're going to play because I think we both like it more, I think.
Well, I was looking, and Raccoon Tycoon was 44 on my list, and this is new since I made my list.
Right.
So I like it more. It's going to rocket up my list. I'm sure of it. So
we definitely like this one better.
It's going to be hard, but like you said, though, I can't imagine not having both, honestly. They're fantastic. And I like the little, I mean, this does have the stock market thing, too.
If you're looking for an easier, Raccoon Tycoon, I think, plays quicker.
It will be quicker.
Easier to learn.
It's quicker.
Easier to get to the table, less setup, that sort of thing.
And they both have gorgeous art. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. The artwork in here. It's really beautiful. Both games. Yeah. Really beautiful.
This one adds kind of a fantasy theme on top of the game, where Raccoon Tycoon, other than the animals, it's kind of a straightforward kind of economic game. It does have little animal characters, but this one's got it's got spells and spell reagents and wizard towers and different kinds of wizards and things like that going on. Dungeons and monsters you're fighting and things like that. I love it. It just took Raccoon Tycoon and added a lot of things that I enjoy on top of it. Yeah. And that's why it's so high on my list.
So high.
19, debuting at number 19.
Not surprising. It's going to debut on my list pretty high, too.
Let's move on. Let's keep the new love going. This one is a polarizing game, from what I've heard. Some people love, crazy love this game. Some people, not so much. This is a game where everyone is influencing a central board, but they're all playing a different game off to the side. My other pile. She sees the first set.
Yes, I see these.
Merchant's Cove.
This is another one that's going to be high up, I think.
I love Merchant's Cove. A lot of people think that having the gimmick of playing a different style game, like one person's playing worker placement, another person's playing a roll and ride, another person's playing an engine building game, another person's playing a dice drafting game. Everyone's playing a different game, but they're all producing products that they're going to sell on that central board. And how they get to the products is different by each player. And you can try different mechanisms. You can pick your favorite. If you love roll and rights and that's all you play, well, guess what? We got you a roll and right. If you love worker placement, hey, guess what? You got your worker placement game.
Yeah, I think it's got a little bit for everybody. It's so much fun. It's really fun.
And we tried most of them. We haven't played all the different.
We need to get that
characters.
happening.
We need to get all these guys played.
I've so much fun.
All the ones I've played, I enjoyed. I don't know if I'm gonna like the roll and right. I may never play the roll and right,
but I will because I thought it was.
But she enjoyed.
I thought it was a blast. It was a lot of fun.
It's even got kind of a marble thing going on, like the potion explosion game. It's got all sorts of that. It's so cool.
I loved that.
Because what I find interesting about this game, you can say, hey, what kind of game do you like? And you go, oh, I love roll and rights. Well, boom.
You should play this guy.
This character. Oh, I like worker placement. Oh, you should take this guy. I like stuff with dice. Oh, here's a guy for you. Cool, but everyone, like I said, is still playing on a central board where there's adventurers coming to town on boats, and there's a whole mechanism where you're putting the adventurers on boats, and you're kind of almost playing. If you ever played Emotep, that kind of you're putting on certain. You want certain boats. You want certain characters on certain boats, but you want them to go to a certain spot. But I load up this boat with stuff I want, but then Rebecca finishes the boat and drives it over here to some place I don't want it to go. So there's that whole thing going on. There is some cards that superpowers that you can get that you can bring to your board that give you special abilities on top of your already unique way of playing the game. Love Merchant's Cove. So good. So much fun. Every play I've played of it, I've enjoyed. I've played, I think, 3 or 4 of the characters. I've loved all of them. I played the dice one, the worker placement one, the engine building one. I haven't played. I played the marble one. I haven't played the roll and right, and I haven't played the Dragon Rancher. I'm not sure what the mechanism is.
Did you play the one too where you throw the?
That's the roll and right.
Oh, she was the roll and right.
Yes.
Okay, the Oracle or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Okay,
but yeah,
I loved it. It was so rando.
Love this game. I love how the central board works. I love how the player boards work. I love Merchant's Cove. It is so good.
Yep.
So good. New to the list because it just came out recently.
Yep.
Brand new to the list.
Oh my gosh, is this the next game?
Let's move on to another new game to the list. This one is new. I kind of jumped in on the late pre-order of this, or the late pre-order. Basically, there was some leftover Kickstarter copies, and I kind of was late to the table for this one. I heard about it and did some research. Like, I'm gonna love this game. So I jumped in and ordered, and I got the legendary, crazy, epic, legendary version of SEQs. Dwellings of Eldervale.
Another monster box. This
game is so good. I want to play this with more. I've only played it 2-player. I want to play it with more people. More people play this game.
Have we only played it with 2? I thought we played it.
Only 2.
Player?
Only with 2.
Wow.
Oh no, we did play. Did we play it 3?
I thought we played it with. Didn't we play it with Tommy?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no memory of this place. But I love this game. We played this recently. We kind of snuck off to Oklahoma for a little Christmas break. We got kind of a Airbnb thing going on, and we played this game, and it reminded me how much I love this game.
It's a lot of fun.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an area control game on a map. You're basically moving little workers around the map and influencing different areas. You're going up on tracks. You're going on adventures. Basically, you're acquiring cards. So good. At some point, it's got a cool mechanism where the workers you're moving around the board, eventually you can change them into dwellings, which makes them kind of helps you with the area control and fighting and gives you points and stuff. But now you have one less worker. Gosh, this game is so good. And the production is ridiculously crazy, over the top. We got, like I said, we got the legendary classic mega box
so
of
ridiculous.
Has little monsters that are moving around the board and kind of attacking people that are close to them, and you can kind of influence where they're going to go, and you can actually potentially take control of one of the monsters and go rampaging around. But they have these little bases that make sound effects for them. Oh, this game is just, it's like a toy. It's like a heavy Euro game with area control, with toys, with monsters, and so good.
And the little meeples, it's just hilarious because you change them into, you put a little hat on them, and it's like, they're like, it just looks like a dude with a lampshade on or something. He's like, I'm a house now.
The meeple becomes, the worker you're moving around becomes the dwelling. You put a little hat on his head. It's like a little roof. You put it on it.
It's so hilarious, but it's just, you know, and it's funny because I don't have this in my top 200, but we had played it since then.
Yeah.
And it's every time we play it, it just keeps getting better and better. This is not my cup of tea. This is not the kind of game I should like.
There's a lot of things that you don't like that are in this
game, but it's still, every time something cool happens, and it's like, this is a neat game.
And the version I have, I don't know if it's every version, but there's 16 different factions,
which is really cool.
So,
too.
and they all have slightly different powers. Basically, you have three or four kinds of workers. You have four. You have just a regular Joe worker. You have warriors. You have wizards, and you have dragons. And every race workers do a little bit different things. Like her warrior is going to do something different than my warrior, and this game is just so good. I love it. I want to play it with the full. How many does it go to? 5? I'm guessing 5 players. I want to play an epic 5-player.
That would be
game
insane.
of this. And it plays quick. A 2-player game's about an hour. They say, what does it say? 30 minutes a player. So a 5-player game's going to be pretty long, 2.5 hours, because you kind of take individual turns.
Well, and if I remember right, too, if you land on the same spot as somebody else, you have to pay them or something,
you can't go to the same spot as
someone else. Can't. So I think the movement's going to be crazy in
the
a
map's
5-player.
Bigger.
That's true, too.
The map
but
gets bigger, yeah.
Oh, the conflict, I'm like, woo!
But this is awesome. I know the whole sound effect basis is just off the charts, ridiculous.
It's
but
funny,
it's
though.
Awesome. It's so much fun. It's like a toy factor.
It's true, though. It is so funny. Yeah.
I love this game.
Got an opportunity to pop
I want to play a
list.
5-player game of this sometime, because I think it will be off the charts amazing.
Yeah. I can see
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
This is just such a monster.
Dwellings of Eldervale.
Box, you guys, it's crazy.
I think it's funny that now that we're here, we have arrived. All 4 of my new games are back to back to back to back.
You're right, they are.
They're all right in a row. So we had Lizard Wizard, Merchant's Cove, Dwellings of Eldervale, and let's switch gears to a completely different style of game.
Okay.
How about a crazy heavy Euro game in the Macher?
Oh my gosh, you do love this game.
I love this game.
I actually like this game because you love it so much. Like
this game, I mean, it was funny. Story time. So, Board Game Geek, this apparently is a tradition. Every Board Game Geek, they play a full player count game of Macher.
Oh, do they? That's
the full
awesome.
version.
It's the number 1 game, I guess. The first game.
First game in the Board Game Geek database. If you look up games, they have a number. This is number 1. That's the first game put into the database.
That's funny.
But anyway, they always play this game, and I was like, I might like it, I might not. And they have sign-up lists at Board Game Geek to sign up for epic games, the long, massive games. They sign up and schedule them so that you can kind of get prepared. Everybody can kind of read the rules, know what's going on. I thought, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
Halfway through this game, I was like giddy. I was like a kid at the county fair. I'm like, this game is so good. It's got negotiation. It's got you're managing your budgeting. This stuff I like. Most people might not like this. It's got negotiations. You're budgeting your money. You got hidden information. You got alliances. You got so good. This game is so good. I came out of the game, and then I walked over to the Board Game Geek store who sells this and purchased it. I literally walked out of my Macher game, walked over, and purchased it because I'm like, I don't care that it's 3+ players because we don't get a lot of chances to play 3 or more players. I just love this game so much. I just had to hold it. Anyway, I love Macher. It's not for everyone. It's got the driest of themes of the German election system.
Like, what?
But in that, it's got some things I like. It's got that power grid feel to where you have a certain budget,
everything
and you
out.
got like 7 or 8 maybe 10. I don't know how many steps you go through.
Seems
and several of those you have to pay money. It's like, okay, I've got 30,000 or million or whatever my budget is. I don't know what the number is. And I've got to spread that over all these things. Like, okay, so I want to do this one action in phase 2. So I need to budget 5,000 for that. And then the next phase, I want to do this other thing that's 12,000. Oh crap! It only leaves me so much money. I'm like, oh, I can't do that action. Okay, I'm gonna do something else. It's like this whole kind of, just like a power grid, you got to budget money for buying the power plant, the auction for the power plant, and your resources, and building new power plants. You got all this budget you have to do. I love that part of the game. And then you got negotiation, you got alliances, you got all sorts of fun stuff going on.
Yep.
Love this game. It is so good. It's just so good.
You really do need to pay attention and budget out, though, because you can really close up your end of turn stuff if you get too crazy with your beginning of turn. And
because you don't get money, you really don't get. There's very little opportunity to get money as you go. There's a few ways to get it, but it's very unlikely.
It through. And I probably won't want to play with people that I don't know in this game very well, because I mean I have to do like we do in Power Grid. Like I'm setting aside, I have my stacks. Somebody could totally
phase
see what
2, she's gonna buy 2 things.
Yeah, because I'm over here going, I maybe I need a screen for this game or something, because I have to like plan everything out.
But yeah, it's a great game. There's so many things I like about it. It's in terms of Euro games, this is what I want in a Euro game. I mean, it's really almost borderline not a Euro in terms of there's kind of backstabbing and alliances and things like that. But it's pretty much a Euro game. I just love it. And there's it's like I said, it's the election system. There's a number of elections going on at once, and you kind of, when you're playing, there's the election that's going to happen this round.
Yeah.
But then there's future elections that you kind of have some information about, but there's some hidden information. So you're like, okay, do I go all in on this first election, or do I want to kind of prepare for the next election? You got to kind of balance between that. It's like,
do you cut your losses in one?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to do anything in this one, and I'm going to really go for the next one after that. It's just,
I
hope you can hear the excitement in my voice.
No one can tell you like these games.
I love this game. We played it at 3 players. It's got really bad kind of reviews in terms of 3 players. I thought it worked just fine.
Yeah, we had fun
It wasn't quite as much chaos, and that's one of the things that makes this game interesting is it's a continually reacting to what the board state is, right? Because there in each election there's certain policies that people want, but those can change as time goes by. You're like okay, Rebecca changed that policy. Let's see if I can fix that. But if there's lots of players like that policy changed and this one over here changed and this other thing happened, you're like, oh, what do I do? It makes it there's a lot more to react to. But I enjoyed it. It's like I said, it's a little bit calmer, not as chaotic, a different kind of game, but I enjoyed it. But for the most part, this is one of the games you want the full player count to play, 5 players to play.
Yeah.
The Macher, it's the number 1 game for a reason.
It is.
Number 1.
No, it's just
first one in the database. I guess that's number 1. That's it for the new games. Forget new. Let's move on to old crap. Old junk.
Right then.
Old junk. That was my number 16. Let's move on to my number 15. This one dropped quite a bit. This one, dropped quite a bit. It's 15. It can't drop much. But it dropped from 5, and it was consistently my top 5. In 2017, it was 4, then 3, then 4, then 5, and all the way down to 15. That's because we haven't played this in a minute.
Okay.
As they say.
Okay.
Do they even say that anymore?
Yes, they do.
It's been a while we've played this game, but it's one of my faves, and it's so heavy.
Oh gosh. Yes.
It is
bad boy.
Scythe.
Yay, Scythe! Yeah, it's my 52. It's still holding very strong.
I love this game so much.
So amazing.
It's just I haven't had a chance to play it in a while, and it's kind of getting
some hate because of it.
Forgotten, I guess. I don't know if that's the word. It's still 15. I love Scythe. It's just dropped a bit, but it held back all those new games. It was like the bastion of protecting the older games. It's like held back, like stay back, new games. Scythe's still good. So I love it. We got like everything for it crammed in this little box. At some point, I should probably bite the bullet and get the big collector's box.
No, not another giant box.
Speaking of giant boxes, anyway. Love it. Everything's crammed in this box. We played the Fenris campaign.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. We played it. We just played it 2-player. We like this game 2-player. Most people hate on it for 2-player. We enjoy it with 2-player.
I like it at any player count, really.
Because the way the game's designed, it doesn't really matter where you are. There's ways to go through tunnels to get to everybody. So even there's a kind of a we kind of discovered that playing 2-player, if you start next to each other on the board, you're going to have a lot more interaction than if you start on like opposite sides of the board. So it's like we're feeling like from we want to get at it.
Aggressive. We plant next to each other.
If we're wanting to have a little free time to not get in each other's face, we move a little further apart. But it's got all these different factions. Every faction's slightly different. You also have randomized player boards that are different.
I love that. Love that.
It's got some area control. It's got resource management. It's got goals and objectives you're going for. It's got encounter cards that are crazy encounter cards. I'll come back to that. It's got your player boards. You have ways to upgrade. So basically you have a top action and a bottom action you're going to take each round. There's ways to upgrade your bottom actions and move cubes to make your you move your top action cubes down to your bottom actions to make those better,
make them cheaper.
And you make your top actions better. There's a factory in the middle of the board that you can kind of rush to get some superpowers.
Yep.
So much fun, but I love the encounters. Let me get to the encounters. So the encounters are like really, really fun. So like let's say you go to a pig farm. So you have a choice. You can chase the pigs out of the farm into town and causing havoc, and you get some stuff. Or you can take the pigs and eat them. Or you can pay the farmer to repair your mech or whatever. It's just all these.
Or you can help the farmer put the pigs back in the pen or something nice. You know.
So it's basically you have a nice action. You have a kind of a middle of the road action. You have a mean action.
Agent of chaos.
So the mean action gives you the most stuff, but your reputation decreases and stuff like that. The good action may not give you as much, but it could increase your reputation.
Some of them do give you good rewards for doing the better thing too. It just depends on the card, right?
So even though even though this is a race to victory points, it's most money, but effectively victory points. There's objectives. There's like goals you're going for. So there's like a slew of little objectives you're trying to achieve, and you get every time you achieve one, you get a star. Certain number of stars by one player triggers the end of the game, and then it's kind of a add up your money, victory points, however you want to look at it at the end.
Such a good game. This is so.
It's got combat. It's got little combat where you have a combat card, so it's kind of deterministic. But you also have like a bid system. Like you have a certain number of attack points. Yeah. And you can bid like between 1 and 5 or 0 to 5 attack points or whatever. And it's like, how many do I bid? I don't think she's going to use all her attack points. Maybe she'll use all her attack points. How much should I do? So it's kind of like a cat and mouse.
Well, you got to be careful. You don't want to just spend them frivolously too, because it takes a little while to build those back up. It's not like you just get those.
It's got crazy mechs. It's got cool little leader miniatures. It's got airships that you can get.
It's good.
And the expansion, the art's really cool. Love Scythe. It's just this one hasn't hit the table in a while, so it's kind of got to dust it off, literally. And,
don't dust it towards me.
And play it again soon, and it may probably move right back up the list. It's my number 15, Scythe.
That's like a 500-pound game.
All right, it's time to head into space for a little while.
Woo woo!
Let's go into space for a few little games here. Let's move on to my second favorite Star Trek game. It was my 16 last time, so it actually went up to 14, but it used to live in the 7s back in the day. So it was 12 and 17, 7 and 18, 7 and 19, 16 last year, moved up slightly this year to 14. I want to get this played. We've had the Borg expansion forever.
I know.
And we've had the Vulcans and the Andorians forever.
We need it.
And we haven't played this in ages.
But we don't like playing
because she hates this game now.
I do not. It is significant.
Found in the 90s somewhere.
It is in the 90s.
And that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about Star Trek Ascendancy.
We need to play this again, but it's not really good 2-player.
The Borg expansion makes 2-player better.
We need to play the Borg expansion.
In fact, you can only play it 2-player with the Borg expansion.
We need to do that then.
And you can play solo with the Borg expansion.
Really?
Well, okay. I could be remembering that wrong.
Wow. Yeah, this is so good, and it's just, I feel like it gets punished because it's got that bad 3-player thing.
3-player only kind of thing. But the Borg expansion, unless I'm crazy, let's take a little sneak peek. Not sneak peek. Let's go look and see if we can find that Borg expansion in here.
Yeah, now I'm intrigued.
We got notes. There's notes.
Interesting.
Rules that we, if we have rules.
Oh yeah, the rules that we tend to forget or something. We write notes.
Expansion over there. I thought I put it in a box.
I only see those. Is it small?
I'm not going to look for it. But anyway, I'm almost certain the Borg expansion allows you to play 2-player and solo.
Nice.
I think. Because if you look on the box, it says 3 players, period.
Yeah.
So this game used to be a 3-player only game. Then there's the expansion races allow you to play 4 and 5 players.
Oh, okay.
Love Ascendancy. So Ascendancy is kind of a macro view of the Star Trek universe. You're going out and you're either conquering or inviting planets to join your federation. Going out in space, conquering planets, getting resources and controlling areas and attacking other players and beating each other up, getting technologies and superpowers. Every race is very asymmetrical in terms of how they play, in terms of their technologies they're going to get. It has a very, almost a free form board. A lot of your epic space games have tiles, and the tiles are set out and they're already kind of a pattern. This one has kind of almost a free form. When you discover a planet, it has almost like it can almost move in terms of where it's going to go until you connect another planet off of it. Once you get two planets connected to it, it's locked in place. But until then, you can kind of manipulate where that's going to be. So if you're trying to move towards someone, you kind of angle it towards them. If you don't want them to get you, you kind of angle it away from them.
I love the warp zones.
Basically, the way the game works, you have a board. This is our play area. Go to town. You can just put your planets however you want and build however you want within there. Love it. It's so much fun. It's a dudes on the map, beat each other up style game, 4X style game.
Yes.
Not quite as 4X as some games, but it has all the 4X trappings.
And it's definitely got the Star Trek theme heavy in it, which is great.
Because the Federation goes out and they want to say, hey, join us, we love you. And the Klingons are like, we're going to conquer you and take you over. And the Romulans are like sneaking around and doing stuff.
And then your Ferengi guys were hilarious.
The Ferengis are like, they were all about merchanting and making money and working with players, but not really working with players.
It was funny. They're great.
So all of the races, I've played all the ones except for the 2 that I mentioned that are off on our shelf of opportunity, as some people call it.
Yes.
And we haven't played the Borg, obviously, but that's not a player race. Played them all. I love them all. They are great. We've got Klingons, Federation, Romulans, Ferengi, Cardassians.
Yes. Yes, it's Cardassians.
Kardashians?
Not the Kardashians. Thank you.
Love it. But again, this is, like I said, this is not like episodic in terms of you don't have Picard and Kirk and Spock and characters and junk like that. It's all kind of pulled back, kind of like I said, a macro level view of the Star Trek universe.
It's very cool.
Love it. So good. She hates it now. So
I do not hate it now. It's just, it's so hard to get to the table because you, like you said, you have to have 3 players.
Borg!
I know, we're going to have to
Which you haven't played with the Borg.
Borg.
We were going to play with the Borg one time, and then we backed out last minute because there was a lot of extra rules, and we were wanting to jump in the game quicker. That was my number 14. 16 last time, so it went up a little bit, but basically stayed in the same spot. Let's move on to my number 13. This one jumped from 33 to 13 because we've played this several times since we last did these lists, and we love it. Is this my... Let me do... I don't know. Anyway, this is going to be at the very high up on our combino list, our combo list of combonists.
Okay, so that means it's going to be...
This was suggested by the infamous, nay notorious, nay colonified. Is that a word? I'm saying because they're everywhere at once. Kabuki Kid.
Oh, clonified?
Yeah, clonified.
You sound like you said colonified, and I'm like, Coloma?
Clonified.
Oh! Yeah, this is high up.
Space.
Where's Empires? Yeah, it's my number 12.
Hey, it's my number 13.
Yeah, this is going to be really high up.
Right there together on
Boom!
We love this one. This one, this is like, you get the 4X feel in like 60 minutes. Boom. In and out.
Just one of my favorite space games, period.
What does it say? How long does it say this game plays? Does it say anywhere?
Yeah, probably.
Does it say anywhere? Does it say anywhere?
I have no idea because you keep moving too fast.
30 minutes per player, so it is an hour for us. Love it. It's got, like I said, the 4X feel. You're going out, you're exploring space, you're taking over areas, or you're allying with areas. When you ally with people, or you get superpowers, you get their abilities. So there's all these kind of neutral NPC, whatever you want to call races scattered around. You can get them to work with you, let you get their powers and abilities, potentially their ships and stuff. Going over, getting planets, conquering planets, getting victory points, going around, exploring, controlling, building up your skills. So basically, you have these. Again, a lot of these games have it where it's almost kind of like a, not really a tech tree, but basically as you build bases and things, your income goes up and your abilities go up. So you're building all these things out on the map in areas you control, and it is increasing your resources and engine building of that part. And then every race has kind of a superpowers that they can get. There's like a little mini tech grid. I wouldn't call it a tech tree. There's a little grid, a selection of technology you can develop that give you very unique, well, not they're all unique, some of them are similar, but it gives you some superpowers that make the game better. It's got kind of a follow the leader turn mechanism, so there's not a lot of downtime. So Rebecca takes an action, I can follow that same action, or I can take an alternate action. So every turn you're doing something. You're not going around the table waiting your turn. You're always in the game, always doing stuff, which we love. Love this game. So good.
This is my favorite Ryan Lockett game, too.
It's not even close. This may be the only Ryan Lockett game I have on my top 100. Just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
I love this game.
There's not even a close second.
And his art, of course. I love his art and space art. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. So
love
good.
it. It keeps going up the list. I don't think we've ever played this anything but 2-player. Did we play it? No, we played it once 3, I want to say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we love this 2-player because it's zippy. Poop, in and out. I can't snap. In and out. There you go. Just like that. In and out. Love it. Like I said, it gives you the 4X feeling in a very short amount of time. So good. So good. All the way up. 13. Lucky
Beautiful.
13.
Beautiful.
Lucky 13. Empires of the Void 2.
Oh, brother. Okay.
All right. Let's look. Another game that went up. One of the 3 that went up. It was 15 last time. Listen to these numbers. Started out at my number 5, way back in 2015. 5, then 8, then 8, then 5, then 10, then 15, and now 12.
Nice.
Love it.
This is going to be one that I like too, then I bet.
Our favorite Star Trek theme game.
Oh, yeah.
Star Trek Fleet Captain.
This is my number 10.
So same spot, basically. Mine 12, your 10. So good. So good. So remember way back time of two games ago, Ascendancy is kind of the pulled back macro view. This is like episodic in the weeds. You're building up. You have a fleet of ships. You're actually putting crew on that ship. You have Captain Kirk hanging out with Data, and you have friggin' Picard with Spock and all sorts of fun combos. It's got a little bit of, I wouldn't say deck building, but you pre-build your deck. Each faction has a set of 10 decks. You're going to pick 4 of those. You're going to shuffle those up, and that's your deck for the game. So basically, if I want to go attacky, I can get all these attacky decks. And if I want to do science and research, I put that kind of stuff in there. You have the ships. You have HeroClix ships. It's based on the HeroClix system. You have little ships. Those. So you have different states of your ship. So like ship could have lots of shields, or it could have lots of weapons, or it could have whatever. And as it takes damage, you basically click that down, and maybe your shields are not going to be as good, or your weapons won't even function, or whatever.
Whatever's damaged, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going out and you're basically trying to get missions. There's science missions, there's exploration missions, there's attacking missions. You're getting crew, you're working your way, you're kind of going through your deck, you're collecting victory points by completing these missions. So good. One of the things we like about it is if we're in the mood for a short game, you can play a short game. You basically, how big you build your map determines how many victory points you need to win. So if you do a tiny little map, maybe you only need 10 victory points, or you can do an epic, massive 30-point victory point map and have an all-day fun fest. We did that one time. We did a massive giant map.
It was a blast. I want to do it again.
And I love it. It's great. So good. Like this one just is going to be on my list forever. It's never going away. It just lives here and around my top 10. It's not quite in my top 10, but basically right there.
Yep.
Love it. One of your favorites.
My number 10.
One of our favorites. This is going to be higher up than I mentioned. Dinosaur Dinosaur Island way back in the day. This is going to be even
I know
higher.
this is gonna be even higher.
Yep.
And it's gonna be higher than Scythe, which is crazy. I mean, like, wow.
We love it.
Game.
Fleet Captains, we've always loved it. I think it was your number one.
It has been my number one.
At one point, it was your number one.
Yes.
Game. Never been my number one.
Nobody's perfect, huh?
Let's move on to my heaviest game. The heaviest game we own.
Heaviest game we own?
And not
Oh, physically heavy?
Physically heavy.
I was like, wait a second.
You think it's Gloomhaven, and you would be wrong.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a game that's heavier than Gloomhaven.
Oh, where is this on my rankings?
My number 11.
This game.
It's my favorite worker
If it's the one I think it is, it's my number 24.
My number 11, started out as 8 in 2018, then 8 again, then 9, then 11, holding strong.
Yeah.
One of our favorite Euro games and our heaviest game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this game. I'm not exaggerating. It weighs 20 pounds, at least.
The Infinity Box.
The Anachrony Infinity Box. So the Anachrony, this is the crazy all-in mega super upgraded craziness box storage solution of death.
They call it the Infinity Box, I think, because it literally has everything in it into infinity.
I like the little symbols is upside down because I don't always do the back of the box wrong, but it's got these cool symbols. It's an amazing production. It is amazing.
This is a
storage
great
solution.
game.
It is an amazing game. I love it. So it's a futuristic. I wouldn't say it's space theme-esque, although you're not traveling in space. You're about to leave to go to space. But it's a worker placement game where you are going out and exploring the capital city, which is kind of there's like radioactive areas between it. So you got to wear these mech suits to drive your little workers out to do things in the capital city. But you also can, as time goes by, build out your base, and you can get buildings and things where you can use workers there. Has a cool system where your workers kind of get tired, or I don't know if that's the word, they're exhausted, and you either have to go to sleep for a round, or you can actually make them work, put them to work, and make them angry, and make them work more rounds.
You get a double shift
today. You bribe them. You don't really make them work, but you bribe them. It's got lots of things going on. Not only is it an amazing worker placement game, it's got that cool duality of the main board and your player board that's going to become more robust over time. Has a time travel mechanism in the game where basically on this turn, let's say I need like a certain 3 of one resource. I'm like, oh man, I only have 2. Okay, what I need to do is in the future, I'm going to come back in time and give myself that resource. Now, I'm not joking. That's how it actually works.
Yes.
That's how I got that resource. But at some point in the future, I have to spend that resource to send it back in time.
Whoa.
To pay myself, or paradoxes happen and bad things happen. You destroy the space-time continuum and bad things happen, and negative points and all sorts of stuff. But basically, it's a loan system. It's funny that if you think about it, loans are kind of time travel, right? I'm giving myself current self $10,000, but at some point, I got to pay that back.
All that time, I thought I was just going to college. I was actually time
traveling. You're like, sometime in the future, I'm going to pay for my college.
Or maybe it's your entire future. I don't know. No.
Anyway, Anachrony is awesome. It's a big, heavy Euro game. You don't need this massive box of doom, but it's awesome.
It is. If you want to go all crazy,
the storage solution.
Yeah.
I've heard tell that people think that it's very intimidating, but it's not. It actually makes setup much easier and quicker.
It does.
Because if you're going to play a certain faction, boom, here's your faction box. There's everything.
Yeah, everything's organized.
Everything you need to play your game is right in that box.
Brilliantly done.
The setup is much easier, and it holds everything. We've got everything. We got every expansion, every bells and whistles and craziness for Anachrony because we love it so much. So good. Anachrony is amazing. I want to play it now, just talking about it.
I know, right?
It's so good. You don't need this 20 pounds of nonsense, the base game.
The base game's fantastic. I mean, we had that for the longest time, and it was
the mechs are cool. I would get the mech expansion.
Those are pretty fun.
Otherwise, you're using little tiles and no mechs.
Not as fun.
It's cool because you're little worker guys. You have little cardboard shits. You actually take your little cardboard shit and put him inside the mech, and it looks like he's driving the mech. It's so funny.
It's really cute.
Over the top.
Kind of reminds me of, what is it, Aliens, when she's got the little forklift thing?
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. It's really awesome.
So good. If you're looking for a great heavy Euro game with some great mechanisms with worker placement. I love worker placement. Probably my favorite mechanism.
Yep.
Love it. Anachrony, the 20 pounds of greatness. I'm going to let Rebecca put this away. I want to see. Oh, don't act like it's not heavy. No, don't get it.
Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! I got muscles.
Yeah, she's going to be like tomorrow, like, oh, my arms, why are my arms? Anyway.
Probably.
That's it until the live show.
Oh, my goodness, you guys. This is so crazy.
We are done until the live show. So coming up very soon, or if you're watching this after the fact, just go out and find it because it's there. My live top 10 is going to happen. I can't wait.
Excellent.
Let's give you a sneak peek of that live top 10.
Do you have any new games?
2 new games in my
top 10.
Top 10. 2 new games in the top 10.
I think my highest new game is at 15. And you just have so many.
2 new games in the top 10.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
We got let's see how many 2 new. Let's see how many went up and down. We got 1, 2, 3. 3 games that went down.
How many stayed the same?
I won't say.
You'll have to find out live.
Anyway, 2 new games. Let's see what they are. We'll see you next time. So long.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.